$73 Brent. Do you like that? Do you not like that?
So right now I like it. I think, when we look at the global economy and think, David, as you were messaging earlier, the issue has been with manufacturing and investment spending. The last time we went through some malaise like this, it was really a higher oil price that got things moving in the other direction back in 2015 and 2016. So I think in the near term, it's good. More medium to longer term, it's a little bit concerning. There's a view out there that the consumer is going to really have to be the main driver of growth this year. And obviously, if oil prices get too high, that's going to impact the trajectory of consumption.
Is there also concern that we're depending upon the whimsy or the decision-making of governments? I mean, it depends on whether Mike Pompeo gives a waiver or doesn't give a waiver. That's not fundamentals. Can people invest on that?
I wouldn't be investing on that. I'd be focusing more on what's been going on in shale and with fracking. I mean, these are the guys that have really been affecting the overall supply and demand dynamic over these past few years. Every time we see oil get to 65, 70, right, the shale guys, they come back online, they start pumping like crazy. For them, it's much more of a volume business than it is an earnings business at the current juncture. And so I think rather than watching the political side of things, which obviously can have a short-term impact, watching more what's going on with the response to higher prices by producers is probably the right approach to take.
Agreed, because part of the issue is sort of where, if you take off that Iranian crude, where does it come from? Lots of doubts as Saudi Arabia has that kind of spare capacity over the longer term. Libya is still a mess. Will that actually be able to be delivered through? And Venezuela is also a mess.
Right.
So based on that, if we see prices maybe 70 more sustainable, do you want to buy big oil? Do you want to buy the E&Ps? Like, what's the right way to play that in the energy space?
So I think that the big oil angle is very interesting because I'm of the view that when you look at some of these smaller companies that have experienced a lot of growth over the past couple of years, they're not necessarily profitable. So as we get into the later stages of the cycle and you've seen IPO activity pick up, you've seen M&A activity pick up, I think that trend of M&A could potentially continue, making it, more of a big oil story, the big guys picking up the little ones, rather than focusing purely on E&P.